Welcome to the Red Road East. I'm your host, Fierce Truth Seeker. So today I want to make an apology to all of the viewers for our long absence. And as you know, that's due to the whole COVID-19 pandemic. Okay. So from this point on until further notice, the shows will be done remotely, okay, just like it's done now, okay? So let's proceed with the show. And today we're going to be joined with a member of the federally recognized Mashantucket Pequot Nation, okay? So right about now, I would like to introduce Morningstar. Morningstar, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Good. So, Morningstar, how did you get that name, Morningstar?
All right. So my mother was very close with my great uncle Earl, and he suggested that she name me Morningstar.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
And I was also told that like one of my great grandmothers, that was possibly her native name. So
Okay.
that's another reason why.
Okay. Now, for the viewers who don't know anything about the Pequots, tell us a little bit about the Mashantucket Pequots. I know, is there a difference between the different tribes, like the Mashantucket Pequot? I think there's like a difference between the Western and the Eastern, I believe.
Okay. All right. So after the 1637 Pequot massacre, my tribe became smaller. Of course, the first reason is because of so many females and children and men being massacred. But also, as time went on, some of our Pequots were traded for slavery. Some were given to the Narragansett tribe. Some were sent to Bermuda and the West Indies. Also, after the Pequot massacre, the Mohegan tribe became established. And further down, the Eastern Pequots became established, and they're known as the Eastern Pequots. The Mashantuckets are known as the Western Pequots.
What was it like growing up as a Pequot and, you know, on the reservation and everything? What was it like growing up?
Okay, so at the age of 11 is when I moved to the reservation. Prior to, I lived in Brooklyn, New York, and Staten Island, New York. So I had more of the urban indigenous experience.
Okay.
You know, my mom, she heavily instilled the cultural values in me. And, you know, when we were in New York, I didn't know what tribe I belonged to. And I kind of became very acquainted with other urban indigenous people that also may have not been enrolled into a tribe. But once I moved to the reservation, it was like a dream come true. There, like, it was amazing to see so many different people that looked like me and also had different characteristics as well, you know, because they were mixed. But it was cool to see all of these people that looked like me, and I felt like, wow, I finally belong to a tribe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so as time progressed, it was great to see that there were so many benefits of being around the reservation and being around my family. And because my tribe was federally recognized, there were resources that we had available that just made life way better, and also gave me the opportunity to finally, you know, have a regalia and, you know, just learn so much more about my culture, because we actually have a museum on the reservation.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice museum too.
Yes.
I got lost in there. I was like a kid in a candy store.
I hear you. Yes, it's beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. And you're also the former Miss Mashantucket, right?
Yes.
What year was that you won Miss Mashantucket?
Okay. So I was 2005 Miss Mashantucket, and it was a great experience for the time being. Mm-hmm.
Wow. And did you face any challenges in regards to that?
Yes, I did. So at first, when I had to compete, it was a little uncomfortable because I had at least four other females from my immediate family that competed against me, including my best friend.
Wow.
So that was a little uncomfortable, but at the time, I was so ambitious, and everything that I wanted and put my mind to in advance, I would know that it was mine. So, I felt in my heart that I was received that crown, and I accepted it humbly. Even though I won, I didn't act any different. I didn't treat my immediate cousins any different. I just, did what I had to do. And the second situation that I ran up against was I had gotten pregnant during my reign with my second child.
Mm.
To pass the crown up to the next runner up. But again, that was also a humbling experience. And, I definitely don't regret having my son. And all in all, I just am thankful that I was able to have that opportunity to be Miss Mashantucket in my lifetime.
And you what I know you do some dancing, or what kind of dancing do you do?
Okay. So I I at this point in time I do traditional,
Okay.
but there was a time when I loved to fancy dance, jingle dance. I'm also great at Eastern blanket dancing. I used to compete in the past, but I no longer compete due to injuries that I have with my ankle.
Oh, okay. So for those viewers out there who don't know anything about those different dances, give a little brief explanation of like a traditional dancer, fancy dancer, just to give them an idea of what you're talking about.
Okay. So when it comes down to fancy dancing, pretty much it looks like a female is dancing around on her tippy toes like a butterfly. And, most of the time while she's dancing, her arms are in the air and she's mimicking the the movements that a butterfly would do. Um, I really love that dance because it was fast paced, and also because of my liking to hip hop music and the fast beats. I would sometimes incorporate some hip hop moves into my fancy dancing
Oh
in
wow.
such a way where it would look nice and intricate, but no one would be like, okay, what is she doing? You know what I mean? It would go with the flow.
Yeah.
Um, as far as the jingle dance, that is the dance of healing. And you pretty much, a female, she has her hands on her hips. Again, she's on her tippy toes, and the patterns that she does with her feet are identical. So whatever she does on the left side, she's expected to do it on the right side with her feet movement. When the honor beat goes off during the drumming, she's to raise her fan. The fan is usually made out of a bird wing, and she just honors the drum beat, the honor beat, and when it's done, you know, bring the fan back down, continue dancing until the song is over. As far as with the Eastern blanket dance, that's supposed to represent a woman a young lady going into womanhood, or finding a mate. So she starts off with a blanket covering her. She's honoring the four different directions. And as the song plays, she's coming out of the blanket and she's exposing herself as a child is coming out of the womb, kind of like that type of,
Hmm.
I don't know if you want to call it a metaphor, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then as far as, just traditional dancing, a female, again, she has her hands on her hips, most likely has a blanket on her left arm, has a fan in her right arm, honors the drum beat, and she dances with poise and grace, humbly, and does her two-step. So those are just little summaries of each one of the dances that I used to do.
Yeah. And you do you do any modeling?
So last year I was asked to do makeup for some models, and I ended up having my own photo shoot after the fact, and the group that I did the makeup for, which is called Breeze Diamonds, they ended up asking me if I wanted to be one of the models. So as of now, yes, I'm pretty much trying to get my name out there for modeling. And pretty much when I do my modeling though, I'm trying to make certain statement, and it's like now is a great time because there's a lot of statements that need to be made,
Mm.
Black lives, the reformation of the criminal justice system, a lot of the things that our people in Indian country are going through. So I'm going to use modeling to make a lot of different statements.
Mm. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So I think we're coming up on a break.
Okay.
So we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and continue on and with the next segment.
Okay.
All right. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes now. Could spend a lifetime trying to figure it out. I'm going through changes, through all of the strangeness. I'm going through changes now.
Okay, so we're back, and we're again joined with the lovely Morning Star Figueroa. And so before we go into the next line of question that we spoke about, wanted to ask you a little bit for the viewers about, like, in the in around your reservation, or should I say even in Connecticut, there's some other tribes that are there too as well. For the viewers, let them know some of those neighboring tribes.
Okay. So in Connecticut, as far as the sister tribes that I'm aware of, because there are more than I'm aware of, we have the Mashantucket tribe, the Eastern Pequot tribe, the Mohegan tribe, the neighboring tribe in Rhode Island is obviously Narragansett. We also have ties with Wampanoag. Those are like the main tribes that I'm aware of, and then Shinnecock and Long Island. I don't know of too many tribes in Connecticut, and
I know there's a lot of them
because they're not recognized, but that
Right.
doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? I need to learn more about the different tribes out here. I not
Well,
recognize.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of them. People think that there's just like a couple, but there's a whole lot.
Right, right. And I definitely, praise those that are not federally recognized and they're still fighting for federal recognition and still keeping their story alive. You know what I mean? Of the ancient wisdom that has been passed down to them from their ancestors.
Yeah, yeah. Now you've had some setbacks in your life,
Yes.
and I know that it's something that's weighing heavily on you, and you want to share your story with the world. So, do you mind speaking about some of the setbacks? Coming from where you were. You were at a good point, a high point, and then you took a few steps back. Talk about that.
Okay. So at one point in time, especially in my early 20s, I really felt like the world was in my palm. I felt like anything I wanted to put my mind to, I was going to accomplish. However, as time went on, I realized my tribe was going through a financial setback, and that definitely impacted me to a certain degree. And then you might as well say after my car accident in 2008, where I broke a few bones and, realized my law enforcement dream went down the hill because I wasn't going to be able to finish the physical agility exam. And Native American dancing for me went down the hill because I could no longer represent the way I wanted to. And the main way that I would represent it was dancing. So I felt like I lost two major parts of myself, and I didn't know how to really express myself anymore. And so I became very angry, and I also developed anxiety, and it caused me to be short-tempered. And unfortunately, I found myself fighting and catching assault cases, like more than three. So finally, I had a timeout. I was incarcerated for 5 months in 2014. And that's what changed my life. That woke me up because I felt like I was dead to the world. I didn't have any contact with my children. Barely anybody sent me any commissary money. I barely got any letters. So feeling dead to the world and knowing that at one point I felt so alive, that hurt and it woke me up. So when I got out of jail, I made sure that I put my all into reestablishing my life, because when I got out, I didn't even know that all of my belongings were going to be discarded. So I literally started from scratch with the clothes on my back. And here I am now, ready to tell the story and ready to become a positive role model like I once was, so that I could share my story and help other people not fall into the troubles that I fell into. You know what I mean? I just want to be a better person and a better role model, and for our youth, for our people. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm very interested in sharing this story.
Wow, and I can tell that it really you have a lot of hurt inside, because I can tell just by how when you were explaining what happened, I could hear the almost tears about to come out. So I know it's very emotional for you. Yeah. I didn't even know that all of that had happened.
Right. Because some of my oppressors taught me not to talk about it, and I recently realized, no, that's what I got to talk about. That is a part of my purpose. You know what I mean? And my oppressors didn't want me to talk about it because they knew I would be subliminally talking about them. You know what I mean? But it's too late for all that now.
Yeah.
I'm ready to tell my story as we are now,
Yeah. Wow. Who's the chief, the current chief there now?
Rodney Butler, and he's been our chief for a while now.
Okay. Yeah. Now tell us a little bit about, because I know that due to COVID-19, powwow season has been canceled. How has that affected the Pequots?
Okay. Well, what I do know is we have a page on Facebook, and we call it the Cultural Department, right? And so the people that originally worked in the Cultural Department on the reservation, they've been interacting with us on that page on Facebook. And they've been reaching out to different tribal members that have skills or gifts with different arts and crafts. And they've been asking them to do live videos with demonstrations on whatever skill or talent they're able to demonstrate. And like I'm starting to see an increase in participation from our tribal members. Other than that, I was told that for our green corn powwow that we would be having this month, they're gonna also interact with us on that Facebook page, but they're talking about kind of having like a drive up powwow or drive through, you know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I read it real briefly, but I could tell like they're gonna still try to have some type of interaction. You know what I mean? Just nothing big and open to the public.
Oh, so the even with the drive up, that's not going to be for the public.
The drive up, I have to read what exactly they were talking about with that.
Okay.
But like the fact that I seen drive up, to me that was big because I'm like, oh, okay, that means we can come through, but we got to stay in our cars or something. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But like earlier this year, the cultural department went very hard on interacting with us for Pequot Day, which is we every year we celebrate like the morning of the 1637 Pequot massacre, and we also like celebrate our existence that we're still here despite that. You know what I mean? So the cultural department did real good with interacting with us earlier this year during the heavy quarantine where most of us were not really trying to come out. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to seeing how they interact with us, you know, soon for the green corn powwow.
Yeah. Now you also do arts and crafts.
Yes.
And yeah, I saw you on your Facebook when you were, you know, doing your thing, you know, a little something. Can you share with us your arts and crafts? Tell us a little bit about, you know, what you do in that manner. And
all right. So when I was a little girl, my arts and crafts journey really started with my mother. I would watch her make Native American earrings. And then as time progressed, I would see her make hair ties out of leather. I don't care if it was leather from an old couch. She would rip up a couch and she would make herself some Native American hair ties. Mm-hmm. And she would even sell hair ties, you know, from that leather, right? Mm-hmm. So I learned how to make hair ties, dream catchers from her. Mm-hmm. And then as time went on, I got into makeup, and I also liked doing war face paint or whatever. But as I mentioned, all of my jewelry and tools that I had gotten discarded. So now I just promote my aunt's jewelry that she makes. And some of the things are like, for example, these earrings right here, beaded earrings. I had I painted my face. I don't know if you can see it, but I painted my face.
Yep.
And I had the handprint on my face, and she, you know, she made a picture of it and beaded around it. Right here, this is like a peyote stitch necklace with the earrings that match.
Wow.
So what I'll do is like, I'll do my hair, makeup, put on her jewelry, do a video, promote her, tag her. This is one of the necklaces that has our little Casa Cinnamon signature logo that's on our primary logo.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And like recently, when I was on Zoom with our cultural department, one of my cousins, she taught me how to make a corn husk doll. I don't know if you can see it.
Nice.
So I have to finish decorating it or whatever, but it was cool to learn about the corn husk dolls and, you know, like the protection that comes with them once you design it how you want to customize it. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah. So my plan is definitely to continue doing arts and crafts, getting my own tools and eventually promoting my own jewelry again. You know what I mean?
Can we see that piece that you have around your neck as well?
Yes. This is one of my favorites, and it's of an eagle that my aunt gave me. So I definitely like eagles, and indigenous people honor and respect eagles because they're the highest flying birds. Bring our prayers to the Creator. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And you do hair also.
Yes. So I was known for doing hair, braiding hair specifically, whether it was powwow braids, the two native braids, or corn braids or box braids. But I'm leaving that in the past now because my hands are starting to ache a bit from all that. So that's why I want to just zone out and do arts and crafts, because with arts and crafts, you can stop at your own pace. You know what I mean? And pick up when you're ready,
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, it was really nice having you on the show. I wish we had more time. I feel like we're kind of just getting started,
Thank you, Pierce. I definitely enjoyed doing this part with you.
Yeah, man, I tell you, it's been a blast.
Thank you.
So, okay, folks, it is what it is. We have to close out the show and allow for other people to do recording too. But until the next time, do da da, go home.
Katapatash. Thank you.